Oh boy. Here we go. 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 Happy Thursday. Throwdown Thursday. It's going to be a great day. Good day. Good day indeed. How are we all doing, peoples? How are we doing? Come on. Come on, computer. Go live. We're going to go live? Hello, hello? Anybody working? Is it working? Anybody at all? Bizarre. Come on. Are you working or what? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me at all? Anybody? Okay. All right, cool. I see. All right, cool. All right. We got Throwdown Thursday. You know, and the thing is, people will argue because today's topic is your testimony outweighs your resume. And you know what? People are going to argue that your resume is the default standard. That is what's important. It's what you know, builds you up. But truthfully, no. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything for you. Nah, I'm just joking. Nah, I'm seriously joking. That's really it. Long story short, give an idea. Sorry, 800 things are going on here at once. And so, go figure, right? What is up today? I got a big old garbage fly in here. That's weird. Not happy with that. That's not good. That's not good at all. Weird. All right. Anyways. So, hear me out. People will debate your resume, but they can't debate your testimony. See, a resume says, I worked here, where your testimony says, I survived this, in all essence. You know, and what's going on here? Why you no worky? Worky. And you know, that's the part that everybody qualifies you for the next level. See, what happens is people tend to think that your resume is information, when actually your testimony is the transformation. See, everybody's got a resume. Everybody has bullet points. Everybody has job titles. Everybody has achievements. But your testimony That's the part that nobody sees on paper. That's the part that nobody sees on paper. And that's the part that's built you. That's the part that actually says, hey, look at me. That's a part that qualifies you for the next level. See, people hide their testimony because of fear of judgment. They hide their testimony because of maybe perhaps their shame from past mistakes. Or maybe they feel that professionalism means being quiet. Or maybe they feel that trauma is too heavy to talk about, too heavy to visit, too heavy to even think about. And so with that, they compare themselves to other people with cleaner resumes, with cleaner thoughts, with cleaner things. Because see, your testimony is the only part of your life that proves that you can withstand. In all essence, I mean, it's one of those things that it gives you your story power. It gives you the opportunity to overcome the shame. It gives you that professional authenticity. And that's really one of the things that you have to try and think about. Because see, what testimony really is the evidence of your endurance. It's the receipts of your resilience. It's the proof of your character. Because, you know, the chapters that you didn't choose, but you survived anyways, that's what your testimony is. The moments that you stood back up after life knocked you down, that's what your testimony is. And it's not obvious. Your testimony is not about what happened to you. It's about what didn't happen. And that is, you didn't quit. That is, you didn't fold under the pressure. That is, you didn't disappear.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, babes.
I have something to fill you in on. If you have Diet Coke and you don't like how it tastes, do not add sugar to it. It turns into a volcano.
Cool.
I just found out that.
Neat. I'm in my life, sweetheart.
I don't care.
All right, good. See, while I have, love you too, babe. Good night. While I have a Pond Congressional Award, while I did have a statewide science fair in high school, I did lose it after my mistake with the lottery. You know, I did get kicked out of high school for wearing gang colors, but I ended up finishing at an alternative school. I had to file bankruptcy because of some decisions I made with a business. But I started another one and I sold it and made money. And I started another business and I sold that and made more money. And I started another business and I sold that and bought my house in the woods. And that house burnt down. And now I'm becoming a transformational speaker. And now I'm building WOW. See, everything has a segment. Everything has a chapter that we move from one section to the next section to the next section. It just doesn't overlap into each other. It's like a book. Your life is a book. And each chapter you move on, you move from one chapter to the next chapter to the next chapter. You survive that transition. You survive that pressure. You survive that doubt of, gee, am I going to make it in this next chapter? Am I going to succeed here? Or am I going to fail? See, my resume shows the awards I got. It doesn't show my losses. It doesn't show my failures. My credit report does. My criminal record does. My ex-wife's, they're walking encyclopedias. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Hey, Alicia. The point is my testimony shows the battles. And the battles are what built who I am. The battles are what builds who you are. So your resume could try to say, "Oh yeah, you're CEO of this and CEO of that, and you know, best tech for DTIQ or whatever," but it doesn't show what you've survived. It doesn't show how you withstood. It doesn't show how you owned. It doesn't show how you came out on top and won those victories. It doesn't show how you came out and won those challenges, those times that you were down and out, those times that life kicked you down to the ground and pounced on you. And that's what testimony does. Testimonies are the proof in the pudding that tell you what you actually survived. Because while resumes will show your skills, all right, I won't deny that. A resume will show your education and all your certificates and all your fancy named titles. The testimony shows your strengths. The testimony shows how you stood back up. The testimony shows you what type of experience you have. But not just experience, but endurance. See, for I could say, well, you know what, I put a new roof on. You know, and for years I said I put a brand new flat roof on. I've never actually physically put a brand new flat roof on until 2 years ago with Eric and Josh and a few other people. But you know what? I had experience on putting a brand new roof on, flat roof, with my mother when I was 6 years old, when she had me up on top of the 4-story apartment building and we were rolling out rolled roofing on her roof at that time in the 1970s. So yeah, I guess I had experience on flat roofs. But does that show the endurance? Does that show how much experience? Does that show what type of quality endurance or experience I have? No, it doesn't. Experience is actually optional. It's the endurance that is essential. Whether you can actually prolong the opportunity to get it done. Whether you can follow through from point A to point B and finish the job. You see, resumes will show titles, but the testimony, that shows transformation. Titles are made to impress people, make people feel important. You know, lead afternoon waste management administrator. That's a pretty, lead afternoon waste management administrator. What do you think that is? That's a janitor for a company that only hires one janitor for the whole company. Well, he's the administrator. He has to administrate himself. And he's the waste management. So he's a lead waste management administrator for the afternoons. But he's a freaking janitor. It's a title. It's there to impress somebody. Transformation, that impacts people. What did he do as a janitor? Did he find new ways of doing things? Did he try and take care of massive trouble? Did he try and solve major problems while working there? See, that's the thing you got to ask. Because experience is optional, but the endurance is essential. Because resumes show what you planned, where a testimony shows what you survived. And people just don't say, well, you know what, I'm going to go out and, well, yeah, actually, some people do. I'm going to go out in the woods and live in the woods for a week. Yeah, we do say that. But nobody says, hey, you know what, I'm going to get involved in a car accident and have my legs broken, so I have to learn how to walk again. Nobody says that. But they do it. Not by choice. Where a resume is something that they plan. They work out their whole future. I'm going to go to med school. I'm going to go and become a nurse. I'm going to go and become a nurse practitioner. I'm going to go and become a doctor. I'm going to go and become a brain surgeon. And that's how you build your resume. But you know what? That just shows that you've got experience at going to med school. You're a professional student for 20-something years. Give us something gritty. Give us some neat. What have you survived? What have you done? You see, survival is the highest qualification for leadership. You know, there's this thing out there, and I don't want to get political, but you know what? They talk about how leaders trying and my favorite quote is, imagine leaders fighting each other instead of sending kids to die for them. I'm a firm believer in that. I honestly think, I honestly firmly believe, instead of wars, make the leaders go and fight each other. It'll be comical. It'll be hilarious. Oh, what? Well, you want me to show the new business cards? Here, yeah. We just got the new business cards. My AI camera, gotta love it. We got some new business cards. Where are you at? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Got some new business cards. Woo! That's so pretty. Of course, the camera doesn't show off the colors, and then that's one side, and then the other side we've got. There we go. We got QR codes that show off the WOW merch site. We got my new book. You're not supposed to see that. No. And then you got the Daily Stand, which is a text service that you can sign up for. But you can't see that one either. These are getting released after August 15th. And anyways, the Daily Stand is a activation, accountability text that you can sign up for. And what will happen is it's like going to be like $9 a month for people that just for founders, people just joining. I've got a test group out there right now to see how it works. And what happens is every day they can opt for 1, 2, or 3 texts a day. I know, right? Most people are choosing 3, believe it or not. Shockingly, but of those 3 texts, they get a morning text that says a great morning motivational quote saying, "Hey, you're awesome. Get your butt out of the way." The afternoon says, "Hey, you're almost there for the day. Keep going, keep calling it on. You got this." Then finally one that says, whatever. And it's actually personalized because when you register, it asks you a whole bunch of questions about your dreams and your goals and stuff like this. And my AI, I'm not going to give you her name. My AI works on it, passes it to me, and we approve it together on what messages to send out every day. And it's all personalized just for you. She keeps track of it. We try and keep track of it. And every day, boom, 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 sends out messages. It's totally cancelable. Some people like it. So far, I've gotten a lot of positive reviews on it. That it brightens their day up on some of the quotes that they get out there. So that's that. But you know what? Let's get back on track. Your resume shows what you planned, where your testimony shows what you survived. And you know what? Strength versus skill. Strength is always going to win because it's the long-term survival. I mean, I hate saying it like this, but you put a nerd and a taekwondo person against each other, and I guarantee you that taekwondo person is going to try to kick some butt, even though the nerd knows more. But the strength is going to take care of it. And we joked about leadership. Endurance is leadership. You want to make sure that you have a leader that's actually been through there. You want a leader that's actually struggled. You don't want a leader that's never done any combat before. You don't want a leader that's never done the things that you've done. One of the things that I strongly, in all the businesses I've done, is I've never really ever asked anybody to do a job I wasn't willing to try to do it myself. And that's honest to God true. Because I feel that why would I try and ask somebody to do something I can't do? Why would I ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do? Because that's not a leader. And finally, resumes show what you planned. Testimonies show what you survived. And that falls into that transformational teaching thing, where you actually transformed yourself through weathered wisdom. I love that word. Weathered wisdom. It's a skill that you picked up by standing back up, by giving it a go again, by trying again, by getting up, by getting back on a bicycle, by going back to school, by going back to that job that you hate, by starting that business again. Yeah, I said that. I said that. Starting that business again. Because I don't know about you, but I know myself in the past, there's been 1 or 2 businesses I started, fell to the wayside, and started again. And we all have been there. We've started a project, fell to the wayside, and came back and started it again. And it doesn't really matter that you started again. What matters is, did you finish it? That's what matters. Did you take it to completion? Did you endure it? Because you know what? That is how you turn your testimony into power. You turn your testimony into power by simply doing a couple things. And you know what? I'm going to try and test you on this. I'm going to ask you, what do we use? The answer is right there on the screen. Anybody? Anybody? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Anybody? Ah, yes, you're right. Wow. You turn your testimony in power by withstanding, by outlasting, by dealing with the issue that is plaguing you, the issue that knocks you down, the bankruptcy, the medical diagnosis, the breakup, the job loss, the business loss. You withstand it. You outlast it. You don't have to like it. You just got to stand back up. Yes, thank you. You too, Alicia. You got that too. You stand back up. You withstand it. Anybody want to tell me what next? Anybody? Anybody? What comes after withstand, people? Ah, own. Yes, yes, you're right. Own. All right. Thank you. Hey, we got some listeners tonight. Thank you, Natasha. Own. You own. You stop hiding the scars from it. You stop hiding the shame. You stop hiding the chaos that you had to go through, the confusion. You stop hiding from that. You turn it into your story. You turn it into your map. You turn it into your blueprint so that you don't make the same mistake again, so that you can take that and use it to your advantage. That's where you try and take that mindset and change it, saying, why does this always happen to me? And change it to, what can I do to prevent this from happening again? What can I do to use this to my advantage? What can I do that will help my future after this? Because you frame it out. You turn that pain into a purpose. That's how you own it. And you know what? Another way of owning it is by sharing it. See, I'm a firm believer in what goes around comes around. All right, karma. 100%. What goes around comes around. When you try and share your story about how you overcame your survival, your issue, your challenge, your depression, your bankruptcy, your addiction, it comes back twice as and three times as much. And you can use that to lead from authenticity. You can use that to win. Ah, we finally got there, right? Because when you withstand those problems, when you own your story and you turn that pain into purpose, you become a winner. You become that winner to try to share it. I was at, all right, I was asked tonight to try and work on a video and talk to some people over at my son's Taekwondo dojing or whatever it's called. And it was really interesting because of the fact I was there for 3 different classes. I was there last night for a couple classes, and the last 2 days have been phenomenal. I mean, apart from getting ready to speaking with on the AI summit that's coming up Monday, to speaking at another organization, to class last night, getting ready for next weekend when I'm in Atlanta. So tonight I was there and we were talking, and one of the people that were there, when I was interviewing for a testimonial, he was talking about how after after being a recovering addict, how the mindset has really helped them overcome the feeling of the need for his drugs, and about how the mindset helped discipline his mind better so that he doesn't need it. The discipline and the habits and the workouts and stuff like that has helped him stay sober for quite a few years. That he's now have a whole family, and his whole family's in there, his kids, his wife, and the whole 9 yards. And he's well on his way to becoming a black belt soon, I'm sure. I mean, he's a leader. He's an assistant instructor. I mean, and it's amazing. And he's taking that and he's sharing his knowledge with the younger generations. And that is helping him excel in his job. That's helping him excel in his in dojing there. It's helping him excel in all ways of his life. And so he's using that addiction, where he ended up spending some time in prison because of it. He's using that addiction, he's using that story to lead by authenticity, not by perfection. Nobody's got a perfect life. Hell, even Jesus Christ was arrested. Even Jesus Christ went in a temple and flipped tables around and made a whole bunch of mess. Nobody's perfect. But when you lead from authenticity, you become a leader that is, you become a leader that has been, I'm trying to think of the perfect word for it. When you lead from authenticity, you become a well-endured leader that can be looked up to. That people can say, you know what? He's not book smart, he's street smart. Because we all know there's a difference between book smart and street smart. We all do. I don't know where you guys grew up at. Me, I grew up on the north side of Chicago. Big difference between book smart, street smart. Big difference. And you know what? I'm just going to leave this here. Your resume is what you wrote, but your testimony is what life wrote on you. And your chapters carry more weight than your testimony.